Greetings, mortals. Brimthen here. Welcome to my Escape from Tarkov guide, where we are going to get you to level 15 as fast as possible, and anybody can do it, so can you. Today's episode is going to be talking about our aim, and before the veteran players of other games start going, well, my aim's fine, I don't have to worry about it, I got a few tips that nobody really talks about, and I've just kind of recently been able to kind of formulate the words of how to properly aim in any video game, so please just hear me out. I've got some new hats in between these episodes, so I'm excited to wear them for you guys. Alright, the first big tip that I got is to aim towards heads. Like always, even when you're not aiming down sights, like always aim for heads towards like the middle of your screen. So like if you think a head's gonna pop up right there, as soon as you aim down sights, you're ready to go. So often I see people looking down here and they're like, their aim is here, and they're like walking to where they want to go. They're like walking around here. If somebody popped out of that door up there, like right there, I have to move my gun all the way up, aim down sights, and then shoot. And that's a lot of time. So what we want to do, we want to start preemptively aiming wherever we think a head's going to be. So I'm looking at that door. I'm looking right there. I'm looking down there by that wall. I'm moving up. I'm looking at that door. I'm moving, I'm looking right there, see if there's a dude, and then I'm like always preemptively aiming my gun where I think somebody's head's gonna be. If you do that, you ain't gonna be caught off guard nearly as often. Secondarily, and it goes with that one that I just talked about, aiming and then aiming down sights. Don't aim down sights and then move up. It's a lot slower. See, check this out. If I aim and then move like that, it's really slow. A much faster way is to just go ahead and move over there, then aim down sights. Move over there, aim down sights. Move over there, aim down sights. Move over there, aim down sights. Don't do that, it's real slow. Aim slow. Aim fast. Aim fast, aim fast, aim fast. See how that works? That's tip number 2. Next up is one you guys have probably heard of, which is the right hand peek. This one is pretty self-explanatory. You kind of give away more of your position when you do a left-hand peek. The left-hand peeker ends up having this very tiny sliver of themselves shown at any given time, and this is what it looks like on their side of the screen. The right-hand peeker gets an amazing advantage. You get to see pretty much their entire body doing a right-hand peek. And I'm not doing anything funky. Here is the side-by-side screenshots if you want to see them exactly. Next up, number 3, is how moving and your different stances affect your aim. So these white walls here at Ollie on interchange is a great way to see what your spray patterns are going to look like. If you are walking and shooting, your aim is going to be fairly all over the place. Now, the thing about the Kedr is it fixes itself mid-stream, but you can see how high your recoil went. They ain't no heads up there, man. So what you want to do is when you get to the spot where you're going to start shooting, which is going to be that line for me, you want to stop moving, aim down sights, and then shoot. Notice how much difference there is. You know, I aimed a little higher than I did last time, but notice the smaller recoil pattern. But if you want the absolute best recoil, just hit a crouch as soon as you're ready. Go boop. Look at that. Look at that. Like a laser beam. If you hit a crouch with a low recoil gun, you're going to get some crazy patterns. But another thing that you need to know about is aiming down sights is actually sometimes slower. You know, if you get in here with like automatic like AKs and stuff that have this real slow aim down sights, like aiming down sights can sometimes get you killed. So what you can sometimes do is go like this and just point fire. Because I did literally the same thing. I crouched and then I didn't aim down sights. I just point fired the center of my screen. Now, I like to move it kind of in a circle to try to get it on point. And what I do is I like to follow where the bullets are coming. So if you look, you can see the bullets midair, and you can use that while shooting to kind of dial in the shots there. So I'm running, I hit that, I try to get get it on the target, so to speak. Does that make sense? Sometimes you're going to find yourself where you are out of ammo and surrounded. You want to break line of sight so that you can reload, and you want to use the walls and various environment to break these lines of sight, because they can't shoot through the walls, not most of them anyway. And you can use little pixel peaks and stuff with your leans to get in here and get some shots that the AI can't shoot you back from, and like sneak around with your walls and take care of business. This is the proper way to play Tarkov. This next part of the guide is homework, but I want to show you how to do it so that you can practice yourself. The goal of this is to teach you how to use any gun inside the game. If you follow this next part of the guide to a T and you actually practice and do your homework, you will feel so much more confident in your aim, I promise. What we're doing is we're going to put some weights on you and make it difficult to use by putting you on harder to use guns and then graduating you to easier to use guns. That way, when you start using more and more meta style guns, you feel a lot more confident in your aim, because we're going to force you to aim, starting off with the Mosin gun. For this first homework assignment, I want you to build the build that is on your screen. You can get your ammo, your Mosin, your helmet from Prapper. You can get your headset from Skier. You can get your body armor from Ragman, and all of these meds from Therapist. Then I want you to go to Escape from Tarkov, go to PMC, go to Factory 1500, hit Enable Practice Mode for this raid. Doing this will prevent you from losing any of your items, but you will not gain anything. You will not get any EXP or rubles or anything out of your raid. Hit Game Settings, hit AI Amount Horde, and set them to easy. If you want a harder challenge, go for the harder ones. I recommend as in online so that you get used to fighting normal scavs. But for a brand spanking new person, just run it on easy and then hit the ready button. The Mosin is a very slow to aim down sights weapon. The ammo that it uses, LPS, takes 2 to the chest to take down most targets, as you'll see with this. Oh, sorry, I shot him in the head. It only takes 1 to shoot him in the head, obviously. Also, with the Mosin, I am always holding my breath before each shot. So basically, I'm aiming down sights, and then if you push the hold breath button, it makes your gun snap to the middle of the screen and basically lines up a more accurate shot. So every time you go for that head, press that hold breath button and it will make your gun super Mosin Nagant, while one of my favorite weapons in the game and in real life, is a very slow to aim down sight weapon that requires precise aiming in order to tap on heads. If you don't shoot heads and you're not used to shooting heads, this gun will force you to learn, because it requires 2 to the chest to kill most targets, whereas it will only take 1 to take out anybody. It will go through most armor and most helmets, so as long as you can tap heads and you use its interesting ways of moving and shooting to your advantage, you will pick up this gun quite quickly. Some of the best things you can do is use your leans, peek in, and go for the heads. The biggest thing that I recommend in this homework assignment of trying to get at least 10 kills with the Mosin is to slow down. There's a slight delay to scavs where you can pop out, aim down sights, aim your gun straight, and then shoot when you know you have the headshot. Sometimes you'll get shot, and that's why we bring a little bit of armor. This gear is really not that great, but it'll protect you from a few shotgun rounds and a lot of the garbage ammunition that scavs actually use. But what I want you to do is slow yourself down and get those headshots. Make sure you're landing your shots. Don't just, run up and just start panic shooting. If you start panic shooting, you will die. Oh no! There's a bunch of scavs here! What do I do? Oh no! You're gonna miss your shots. I want you to try to get at least 5 headshots or 10 kills, whichever comes first, but try to get as many as you can with as many shots as you can. seriously, before you move on with this video, please learn the Mosin. Learn how to hit your headshots with the Mosin. It may be difficult, you may be struggling, but if you can pick up that gun and go into an offline horde mode and get at least 10 kills or 5 headshots, you will feel so much better going on to this next lesson, the SKS. The build is on screen. You can get all of your stuff from the following people, but there is a slight modification that you need to do to the gun in order to get the 20 round mag. We're going to go over to Prapper to pick up the SKS, and then we're going to head over to Peacekeeper to pick up this 20 round magazine right here. And then what we're going to do is go over to Character, and we're going to double click on the gun, remove the internal magazine, and stick this new magazine you see right here right on the gun. That gives us 21 shots into the gun, and then we'll just put it on and add our extra ammo and head on into the factory horde mode. Now that we're in factory horde mode with an SKS, I want you to pretend this is a Mosin. Do literally everything you did before with the Mosin Nagant, but use this gun instead. I want you to feel like you can only get headshots, that you have this semi-automatic Mosin, basically. So what you're going to do is you're going to get used to the Mosin Nagant, and then when you pick up this SKS, it's going to feel like a dream. You're still going to shoot just like you were with the Mosin, but you're going to move on to this new gun where you're still looking for heads. It's just now, when you miss, you have a much faster follow-up shot. So you can do things like that. You can go boom, 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 way faster. It is a way faster Mosin Nagant, and I want you to practice with it, believing that it's a Mosin Nagant. You're still top loading, so you still have to break line of sight and cover, and it's still a super slow to aim down sight weapon that takes 2 to the chest, 1 to the head, and all you gotta do is get used to this new way of fighting. I want you to get 20, and I mean it, I want you to get 20 kills or 10 headshots, whatever comes first. Preferably 20 headshots. Get as many as you can before running out of ammo, you know what I'm saying? And there's gonna be a lot of scavs. Here's a cool thing that comes as an added bonus for using the SKS. You don't have to completely aim down sights. You can just kind of let loose. Go get your kills, do your homework. Like I said, try for 20 or try for more, you know. I ended up getting 33 in this one. But try to get as many headshots as you can. That's the trick. We want your aim to be on point. Now, if you have not felt comfortable with the Mosin or the SKS, please do not go on any further. Only go further in this video if you have practiced the Mosin and the SKS and you have done your homework and you feel comfortable with both of them. Moving on from here, we're going to use a much easier gun, but it's going to eat up ammo like crazy. And our goal is to teach you how to take downtime, to repack your mags, and to get better with recoil control and managing an SMG. We're going to be moving on to the Kedr. Here is the Kedr build. Feel free to buy it from all of the representing traders that you see on the screen here. And let's get into the factory horde mode. This homework assignment is going to be different than the others. We're going to practice it twice. Once, pretending that they're all scavs. 2, pretending that they're all players, because how you handle automatic weapons differs when you're fighting scavs versus players. So let's talk about fighting scavs. Fighting scavs with an automatic weapon, we want to really conserve our ammo. We don't want to really waste ammo on like easy to kill scavs, because at this point, we feel confident in probably killing scavs, and we just want to kind of tap fire and burst them. At this point, we should feel pretty confident in killing scavs, and we don't want to waste ammunition on them. We want to burst fire or single tap them. You know, we don't want to like full auto spray them and waste our ammo, right? So we want to like line up our shots and pretend that we're using a Mosin, you know? So this homework of fighting scavs like they're scavs, you're going to do exactly what you've been doing. You know, you're going to pretend that this Kedr is a Mosin, but it's fully automatic, and you're going to aim for heads. You're going to two-tap chests. You're gonna point fire sometimes. You're gonna use the cover to your advantage. All that kind of jazz. You want to go slow and accurate, just like you've been doing. All the same stuff you've been doing for the Mosin and the SKS. Don't change anything, okay? We want to line up our shots and do all that. Once you feel comfortable with the Kedr and have run a couple matches of pretending that the scavs are scavs, do this next thing. We're going to pretend that every scav we meet is a player. When you meet a player in Escape from Tarkov, you don't conserve your ammo. You try to blast them and keep shooting until the threat is gone. And that is what we're going to do now. So there was a duo, and we're going to reload immediately. And what we're going to do is once we feel safe after shooting mags like that, we're going to repack them as we go. We'll move our ammo up into our magazines as long as we feel safe. We never want to do this when we're in like the middle of a battle or when we think people are around, all that kind of jazz. We always have a full magazine in the gun before we repack. That way we can quickly get in here and protect ourselves. Protecting ourselves is the key to fighting players. We want to make sure that we're checking our angles. We have no idea where a player is going to be. So we're going to like lean peek and check all sorts of different spots. And then when we see a guy, we're absolutely going to lay into them. We're going to do everything in our power to kill that player every single time. I heard a player. I didn't have a good sprayable angle, so I didn't like immediately shoot him. But now we're going to use our movement, use the wall to practice on us here, and then boom, pre-fire him. We don't want to give them time. We don't want to give anybody time to shoot back. We want to do crazy stuff, have weird angles, weird movement, you know, just absolutely blast the living crap out of them until they can't move again. Back off into these corners and then just like hit the crouch in the middle of a spray, reload quickly, repack a mag as long as we're safe. Get rid of that empty mag. Check it out. We hear somebody on our left. We pre-fire them. We see they have a teammate. We move. We keep moving like crazy. We do these weird little movement things to throw them off their game. We point fire when they're too close to us. We reload, break line of sight, move quickly, blast them, blast them. Keep blasting as often as you can. I'm out of ammo. Oh, I'm super out of ammo. Hang on. But anyway, I think you get the idea. Scavs are so easy, they let you reload on them with a pack and a mag like that. Like, scavs are just sad, man. But anyway, get used to doing stuff like that. Like, just be crazy, bro. Like, get in here. You're not going to kill as many scavs because you're just blowing through your ammo like crazy. If you tap fire, burst fire, all that kind of jazz, you're not going to kill, like, you're going to kill way more scavs than if you just, like, spam shoot crazy like I just did. But practice doing that. Run it over and over and over and just practice just blasting everything you see. Start, like, Twitch shooting, you know what I mean? Like, pretend you're playing Call of Duty with the Kedr, you know what I mean? First thing I want to talk about is flesh damage, and the Kedr is really good at doing leg meta. So, oh my god, I'm getting shot at right now. Like, what are you, why did you spawn me here like this? Get out of here. Okay, anyway, the Kedr is really good at leg meta. I suggest SP7. Right now, I think I'm using SP8 because I didn't have access to it or something. SP7 and 8 and PSV is like really good for leg meta. And what leg meta is using a high flesh damage, low pin to just like basically shoot at the legs until they fall down. Oh my god, I'm getting surrounded again. I hate spawning here. Give me just 2 seconds. I've already lost my arms. It's so crazy. Ugh. Pain. Alright, so anyway, leg meta looks like this. It's really fast, and it doesn't matter if they have armor, because you have high flesh damage, so you're dealing a ton of damage to their legs to bypass their armor, and you just want to like aim at their legs until they fall down. And it just kind of works, you know, you shoot stomach and legs and they just kind of trip, and it's kind of funny. So there's a lot of like high tier veteran players that run this, and this is all they do, because you can basically destroy people without ever touching their armor, and then you can take full durability armor to your stash. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a really fun way to play the game. And just go on Tarkov Ballistics and look for high flesh damage. I personally like rip ammo for 9x19 and running a PP19. It's kind of like my method of doing things, but you know, there's a lot of different ways to do leg meta. Some people use shotguns. There's no wrong answers at the end of the day, you know, but it's really quick if you want to run that. Lastly, I want you to gain confidence in your equipment. So know that the different hotkeys to turn on your lasers, to swap between sights, to change scope magnification, and just like practice using different guns, different attachments and stuff, and know how they work. Speaking of attachments, lasers are extremely accurate to where you're shooting, and you can be very confident that exactly where you're shooting is where it's going to hit with that laser. Practice out different scopes, different ways of using scopes. You know, if you want to use like a canted sight or like a magnifying zooming lens type thing, you know, practice with different stuff, different guns. Every gun kind of handles a little bit differently. Even with point firing, like every gun's going to be a little bit different. You know, this is an RPK, so it kicks up a little more than probably what you would expect. But it's super fun to use. You know, get used to running around in the map and just like quickly aiming up and then shooting. You know, pretend they're players like we did with the Kedr sometimes to practice your guns. Offline mode is a great way to just gain confidence in your builds, as well as like the different guns, meds, mechanics of the game. And over time, this confidence that you build from practicing like this, you will eventually feel good enough to use any gun in the game. And I implore you to spend as much time in offline as you need to gain that confidence, because confidence will absolutely get you more kills. Getting used to running around and like practicing your movement is going to give you so much confidence. And join a group like Brimthen's Brawl. I hold a viewer offline contest type thing as often as I can, you know? We announce it on my Discord announcements, and it gives people in my community a chance to practice the game and to sit down and fight in PvP that would lead to, you know, not losing anything. A safe environment for your gear that you won't lose it. But a great example of movement is like jumping down here and blasting people, you know. Break your legs a few times. Figure out where you can and can't jump. You know, be risky. It's just AI, and it doesn't matter if you die in offline mode. Anyway, I hope this has helped you. These were all the tips that I had. And just a quick rundown. Always aim head level. Aim before ADSing. Use your crouch. Use your point fire. Duck in and out of cover to reload. Use your right hand peeks. Go in and use your mouse to help with your recoil. Aim lower and your recoil will jump up and hit people. Go for leg meta if you have high flesh damage guns. You know, there's a bunch of movement that you can work on. Hopefully all of this helps you out and become a better aiming player.